Sustainable diet, buying food locally. What will you learn? In Lesson 3, we look at what are the consequences of shipping food around the world and examine whether we should consume more locally produced foods. Discuss the environmental and social impact of foods depending on where and how it was produced and transported. Compare the environmental footprint of food products depending on origin and seasonality. Prioritize actions to reduce the negative impact of the foods you eat. Let's have a look at the video, Buying Food Locally.
Strawberries in December, avocado from Peru, Swiss cheese sold in South Africa. Food has never been as accessible. You can prepare that favorite pie out of season or enjoy an authentic Chinese basically anytime. What can be wrong about that? When it comes to buying food that is not grown where we live or which is out of season, we have to be asking ourselves several questions. Where did it come from exactly? Can its origins be traced? And how did it get to our table?
Je donnerai un exemple ici, c'est la tomate. La tomate, c'est intéressant, c'est un fruit à l'origine, comme un légume, mais qui contient à peu près 80-90% d'eau. D'accord ? Donc effectivement, quand on va chercher des tomates dans les pays d'Afrique du Nord ou du sud de l'Europe, sud de l'Espagne, qu'est-ce qu'on fait ? On va quelque part mettre de l'eau dans un camion qu'on va transporter à travers toute l'Europe en utilisant de l'énergie fossile. Et on transporte cette eau jusqu'en Suisse, qui est le château d'eau de l'Europe. Voilà, ça illustre très bien la problématique. Donc il faudrait que le consommateur se pose ces questions.
Growing foods in hot climates, in general, uses up a lot of water, as much as 300 liters of water for 1 kilogram of fresh tomatoes. In many warmer countries, water stress is already a serious issue, made worse by agriculture.
Et puis également les aspects sociaux. C'est-à-dire que si effectivement un produit qui vient des antipodes arrive à un prix tellement bas sur les étals des marchés, qu'est-ce que ça cache ? Ça peut cacher des prix de dumping, mais ça peut aussi cacher que l'ouvrier agricole qui a contribué à élaborer ce produit, il n'est peut-être pas si bien payé que chez nous.
In modern days, many of us have grown more and more disconnected with the origin of our food. The majority of the world's population now lives in cities and no longer have the same connection to the farms as our ancestors. Our food is transported by ships, trains, trucks, or planes, and often travels thousands of miles before landing in the local store. The further away our food comes from, the higher its carbon footprint. And if we buy easily spoiled fresh food out of season, such as, for example, raspberries, then it was probably flown by plane, each flight burning hundreds and hundreds of tons of fuel.
Comme vous voyez le magasin avec tous les légumes qu'on a encore, je pense qu'il est complètement possible de manger local en cette saison, malgré le fait que la plupart des clients essaieraient de mettre en avant qu'il n'y a rien et tout. Alors c'est vrai que maintenant les gens aiment bien consommer des courgettes toute l'année, des tomates toute l'année, des fraises toute l'année, alors nous n'en avons pas.
Associations such as Union Maraîchère and Agri Geneva work with local producers, city authorities, and consumers to support and promote food products from the region of Geneva, Switzerland.
Alors, être un client local, ça demande un certain effort, de lire les étiquettes, de s'interroger sur la saisonnalité des produits, et puis peut-être d'être un peu curieux et puis de se déplacer dans la campagne pour aller à la rencontre des producteurs.
To get consumers access to local products, a special label for local products has been created.
À Genève, on a eu cette chance de pouvoir effectivement développer une marque de garantie ou un label, qui est le label Genève Région Terre Avenir. Et c'est vrai que pour nous, ça a été vraiment un vecteur de lien avec les consommateurs. Ensuite, il a fallu effectivement faire beaucoup de promotion autour de ce label, de bien faire connaître cette marque auprès des consommateurs. Et puis après, aussi un marché intéressant pour nous, c'était tout le marché de la restauration collective. Puisqu'en fait, on a sensibilisé les pouvoirs publics à l'intérêt d'avoir ces produits régionaux dans les cantines scolaires, etc.
Alors les activités de l'Union Maraîchère, en majorité en fait, donc c'est vrai que nous revendons à la grande distribution et après c'est vrai qu'on va revendre à 2-3 points de distribution, à une entreprise qui fait des paniers, de livraison de paniers, et sinon on a les magasins deuxième choix, un Carouge et un Perly.
The reasons why consumers opt for locally produced over transported food are not only environmental,
Il faut savoir que chaque actif dans l'agriculture génère en amont et en aval passer 2 emplois, donc on soutient vraiment l'économie locale. Après, c'est un avantage pour le consommateur puisqu'il a la garantie vraiment que ce produit, il est sain, il est de proximité et puis qu'il n'a pas été élaboré n'importe comment. Et puis, de manière plus globale pour l'environnement, c'est quand même l'avantage d'avoir un produit qui n'a pas fait des milliers de kilomètres et consommé des litres de kérosène ou de fioul pour arriver jusqu'à son assiette.
Fresh local fruits and vegetables generally have better taste and nutritional value. And there are also important social aspects to consider. Local food markets globally are a growing industry. In 2019, it is estimated at $20 billion in the United States alone, compared to only $5 billion in 2008. But shopping local food is not only good for rich countries such as Switzerland, it can also be beneficial for developing countries too, for the very same reasons. Creating demand for local food keeps money in the local economy, creates jobs and new businesses. And also, local food can often be more affordable and healthier than imported Western-style products. This can help reduce health problems related to unhealthy diet, not to mention that it preserves local traditions and culture.
Je pense que les jeunes ont plus conscience en fait de l'impact qui se passe au niveau environnemental et c'est ce qui fait qu'ils s'investissent un peu plus au sein de la communauté à ce niveau-là. Mais je pense que les Genevois, en majorité, ont toujours bien mangé local.
So, in many ways, it makes a lot of sense to choose local and fresh seasonal food. This doesn't mean the end of your strawberry pie in winter, but next time you might opt for a frozen pack or a can. Or maybe choose oranges or lemons. Their thick skin allows for transportation by ship rather than plane, so their carbon footprint is very low. And why not give local products you may never have tried before a chance? You might be pleasantly surprised. So, just take a trip to the farmer's market and see what you find.
The fact sheet. Global versus local food. How to minimize the footprint of food. Did you watch carefully? Answer the true or false question. Buying food locally is always a better option for the planet compared to food shipped from afar. Is it true or is it false? It's false. In general, buying locally produced food is preferable. However, we should consider other factors too. Is the food grown in season? What production methods are used? And are the climatic and geographic conditions suitable for growing the food in question? Priority actions for consumers. It is often hard for consumers to assess the environmental impact of food that travels long distances and compare it with that of local products. To simplify your choice, consider the options below, listed in order of their preferability. Priority level 1. Prefer local and fresh seasonal food. This is the most preferable option. There are several reasons for that. 1. The food is fresher and more nutritious. 2. The carbon footprint is likely lower compared to food that travels long distances. 3. You are more aware of the way your food was produced and the social conditions for farmers. Priority level 2. Buy food in frozen or canned form. You can opt to shop local, out-of-season food or non-local fragile products, for example berries or fish products, in frozen or canned form. It still tastes amazing. By shopping frozen or canned food, you help reduce food waste and save carbon. Priority level 3. Prefer food products that have a longer shelf life. Products that have thicker skin, such as bananas and oranges, can last longer in storage and are usually transported by ships. Thus, their carbon footprint is lower compared to food shipped by plane. Priority level 4. Buying non-local fresh food. Sometimes, as a last resort, you may need to buy fresh food that is out of season and not produced locally. Before you do so, think again. if there is not another option available, perhaps a frozen pack or a can. Reflect on the diverse impacts of the global food chain. Let's read the case studies by clicking on the crosses on the map. Avocado strike. Increased demand in recent years has meant that avocados travel great distances to reach markets. Growth in demand has led to expansion of farms, which has led to deforestation and water stress in some countries, such as Mexico. And despite growth in trade, the wages of farmers have remained low, leading to an avocado strike in Mexico in 2016. It may seem to consumers that avocado is a pricey food, but are we paying enough to cover all social and environmental costs for its production and distribution? Now there's a great link here, avocado strike in Mexico, and the link is www.canr.msu.edu, and it's the Michigan State University, all about avocado consumption and the environmental and social considerations. A great case study for your pupils. Shipping sheep. In December 2018, a ban was imposed on the shipping of sheep from Australia to the Middle East during the warmest 3 months of the year. The ban came after shocking revelations of animal abuse and deaths during the long voyage in the summer months. There's a link here, Reuters.com, and it's an article about Australian sheep exporters to stop shipments to the Middle East for 3 months of each year. It's a fantastic case study. You can share this with your pupils. Slow versus fast food. Slow food, as opposed to fast food, is a movement centered on the food produced, sold, and eaten locally. The proponents of the movement say it allows local communities to be independent from global food chains, preserve rare and unique food varieties and traditions, promote tourism, all the while guaranteeing quality and freshness of food to consumers. The movement originated in Italy and quickly spread to many other countries. And there's a great link there, https://www.slowfood.com. Check it out. Activity. What is in your fridge? Think about your fridge or pantry. Do you know where the products you have at your home come from? Write down as many as you can think of and group them per category. 1. Within 20 kilometers. 2. Within 200 kilometers. 3. Within or over 2,000 kilometers. Share your findings with your peers in your group, and to add your input to the Padlet board, click on the plus sign or double minus click anywhere on the pictures. So there's a sample here. I live in northeastern Brazil, so we have several options of local products like milk, cheese, cereals, nuts, poultry, fish, and especially fruits and vegetables. So I prioritize them. And an Italian fridge. I'm from Ecuador, but currently I'm studying in Italy, and I can say that here I try to buy local food as much as possible. I am really lucky because I live near a farm 5 kilometers from home. So every week I buy fresh vegetables, homemade pasta and bread there, and I have to admit that the price is really affordable. And then there's another one here. What's in my fridge? Well, I'm currently studying abroad in a country named Malaysia. I must say this country is blessed with all the natural resources. It's got enough land for agriculture, where it has enough for forests as well. I can't tell the exact number of miles it takes to come to my fridge, but it's a huge country and it does take a lot of fuel to reach it to me. Few fruits come from abroad like apples, oranges and avocados. So really go through. This is a fantastic app called Padlet. And put your information in, get your pupils to put their info in and see where their food comes from, what is in their fridge, what is in their pantry. And it gets you thinking. What can you do? Let's recap. When shopping, consider how far your food has travelled to get to you. Opt for in-season locally produced food if you have the option. If seasonal fresh food is not available, opt for frozen or canned form or products with a longer shelf life.